My professor announced I slept my way to an internship, so I introduced him to my father. My business professor was like a Reddit incel with tenure who was convinced that every successful woman had blown someone to get there. When my friend Priya got into Harvard Law, Professor Dimitrov spent an entire class joking about how she must have impressed the admissions officer during her interview, making crude gestures with his hands while asking her to demonstrate her oral arguments in front of everyone. The guys laughed while Priya's face went from red to white, her hands trembling as she gathered her things. He'd been doing this for 15 years without consequence, and didn't stop there. When Lynchen got a job as an analyst at a hedge fund, Dimitrov created an actual PowerPoint slide titled "Networking on Your Knees" with her LinkedIn photo, spending 20 minutes analyzing how her skirt length correlated with her job offer. It was disgusting. The male student who got a bank job with a 2.9 GPA was natural talent, while Lishan with her 4.0 was seductive. Then came my turn. I had just got accepted for my internship at a Fortune 500 company after having spent multiple sleepless nights preparing for the interview. I was so excited that I couldn't help but mention it in class to my friends, but Dimitrov happened to overhear it and did what he does best. He spoke as loud as he could. Well, seems someone earned it the old-fashioned way on her back. You slept with your recruiter, didn't you? Perhaps you'd like to share your interview techniques with the class. The room went silent for a moment before nervous laughter rippled through the rows. I sat frozen while some guys snickered and whispered, my face burning as I felt 3 years of hard work reduced to a cheap joke. He went back to his lecture like nothing happened, but I couldn't hear anything over the blood pounding in my ears. For 2 days after, I lived in a fog of humiliation. My roommate told me to report him, but we both knew how that would go. He'd been reported before, and nothing ever stuck. My group chat was split. The girls shared their own Dimitrov horror stories in hushed voices while the guys said I was overreacting, that it was just his style. But instead of anger, I felt this eerie calm settle over me. You see, there was something that Dimitrov didn't know. It was my own dad who owned the company that accepted me, and although he wasn't the one who interviewed me, he was very interested in Dimitrov after hearing what he'd said. Accusing someone's daughter of something like that is never a good idea. My dad immediately told me to set up a meeting with that professor, so I did. I crafted a careful text. Professor Dimitrov, the recruiter who hired me, will be in town and wants to meet you. He responded within minutes saying he was eager to network and would be there early. Dimitrov showed up and immediately started scanning for the recruiter. I pointed him to where my dad was sitting. He strutted over with this big smile, launching into his whole networking spiel about his research and connections. My dad let him talk for maybe 30 seconds before cutting him off. I'm Robert. I own the company that hired my daughter. Dimitrov froze and nearly stumbled over his own feet. You told 200 students she slept with someone for that job? The whole restaurant turned to look. Dimitrov started backing away, hands up, mumbling about misunderstandings and classroom humor. That's when my dad lost it. The slap echoed through the restaurant. Dimitrov stumbled backward, knocking into another table, his hand on his cheek in shock. That's assault, he screamed. Dad pulled out his phone right there, called the dean on speaker. This is Robert. I'm sitting here with Professor Dimitrov, who just explained how he sexually harassed my daughter in front of 200 students for classroom humor. I'm pulling our entire endowment if he's not gone by Monday. The dean's panicked voice filled the restaurant, promising immediate action. Dimitrov tried to grab the phone, but Dad had already hung up. He scrambled to his knees, actually grabbing my father's leg. Please, call him back. I'll apologize to her in front of the whole class. I have kids, please. Dad shook him off like something disgusting. By the time we left, Dimitrov was literally crying like a baby. Professor Dimitrov went on administrative leave pending investigation. Word traveled fast, and students finally felt safe coming forward with years of stories. The university quietly settled multiple lawsuits while scrubbing his name from their website. He texted me once, asking me to forgive him so he can preserve his legacy. I told him to go F himself.